On a bright weekday noon, in a crowded family diner that smelled of coffee and toasted bread, a single father named Ryan Foster found his quiet afternoon shattered by a scream that sliced the air in half. Plates rattled, forks froze mid-air, and the entire place fell into a stunned silence as a woman 2 tables away suddenly collapsed, her face turning a frightening shade of pale, her breath shallow and fading. What no one there knew, not the servers who froze in panic, not the customers who stared wide-eyed, was that the moment Ryan stood from his seat, his life, and the life of his 9-year-old daughter sitting beside him, was about to change in a way neither of them could have imagined. If you believe in kindness and second chances, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, Stories of Kindness. Your support helps these powerful stories reach more hearts. Ryan wasn't the kind of man who sought attention or walked toward trouble. Life had trained him to be cautious, measured, responsible. Ever since his wife passed away 3 years earlier, he had lived with a sense of quiet heaviness, balancing long work hours with late-night homework sessions, cooking simple meals, and making sure his daughter, Arya, never felt the emptiness he felt inside. Losing someone he loved had carved out a softness in him, a sensitivity that made him respond instantly when he saw the woman fall. He reached her side with urgency threaded through every step. She was breathing, but faintly, her hands trembling, her eyelids fluttering like someone fighting to stay awake. Her purse had spilled open on the floor, revealing medication bottles. Ryan recognized one of them, a heart-condition drug his own mother used to take years before she died. Something inside him tightened, a memory flashing like lightning, and he gently tilted the woman on her side, checking her pulse, keeping her stable until help arrived. His voice remained calm even though his heart pounded like a storm inside him. Paramedics arrived quickly, thanks to the diner manager who had called emergency services. Before they carried her out, the woman's eyes opened just for a moment, soft and searching, landing on Ryan with an expression that looked strangely grateful. She whispered something so weak he barely heard it, "Thank you, don't leave." But then she lost consciousness again, and he never got to ask who she was or why she looked at him like she knew something he didn't. Life returned to a kind of normal after that, though a part of Ryan kept wondering about her. He asked at the hospital later that day, but privacy protocols prevented them from giving him details. So he went home, told Arya that he simply did what any decent person would, and convinced himself the story ended there. But stories like this don't end so neatly. 3 days later, during a warm afternoon, while Ryan was repairing the loose fence in front of his small rental house, he heard the low, unmistakable rumble of a powerful engine rolling down his quiet street. He looked up and froze, eyebrows lifting in disbelief. A long, glossy black limousine, far too elegant, far too expensive for his modest neighborhood, slowed to a stop directly in front of his yard. His hands tightened around the fence post as the driver's door opened and a tall, sharply dressed man stepped out, his dark suit crisp and his expression unreadable. Ryan's first instinct was concern. Had something gone wrong with the woman? Was this someone coming to blame him? Warn him? Demand something? His mind spun with possibilities. Arya peeked from the porch, her small voice calling, "Dad, who's that?" "I'm not sure, sweetheart," he whispered, stepping forward protectively. The driver approached with polished steps and a posture that radiated sophistication. "Mr. Foster?" he asked with the kind of calm authority that made Ryan stand straighter. "Yes, that's me. My employer would like a word with you. She insists it's important." "She?" Ryan repeated, confusion wrapping around the single syllable. Before he could ask more, the rear door of the limo opened from the inside, and the moment he saw who stepped out, the air seemed to thicken. It was the woman from the diner. But this time, she wasn't pale or weak. She stood tall, steady, dressed in a refined cream-colored suit that looked as if it belonged in a world far from his own. Her dark hair, neatly styled, shimmered under the bright sun. There was warmth in her eyes, deep, grateful warmth, and something else he couldn't quite identify. "Mr. Foster," she said softly, walking toward him with grace. I'm Selena Vargon. And you saved my life. Ryan blinked, almost startled by how composed she looked. How powerful. She seemed like someone accustomed to commanding boardrooms, not fainting in family diners. You don't owe me anything, Ryan said instinctively. Anyone would have helped. Her gentle smile said she knew that wasn't true. No, she replied, not everyone does. Most people froze. You didn't. The weight of her words lingered in the air. She explained that she was the CEO of a successful hospitality company, a woman whose schedule rarely allowed her a moment of rest, and whose deteriorating health had become a quiet battle she kept from the public. She told him the attack at the diner could have been fatal if someone hadn't acted as quickly and calmly as he did. She gestured to the limo. I'd like to thank you properly, Mr. Foster. Please allow me to do something for you and your daughter. Ryan stepped back gently, shaking his head. It's kind of you, but we don't need anything. I'm just glad you're okay. For a moment, Selena simply studied him. There was something deeply human, deeply genuine about the way she looked at him, as if she saw more than a single father in scuffed boots repairing a fence. Her gaze softened further when she saw Arya hiding shyly behind the porch railing. I understand, she said, but I would still like to offer you something. Not charity. An opportunity. She asked if she could come inside to speak more privately. Though hesitant, something in her sincerity dissolved his suspicion. He invited her in, and she stepped into his humble home with quiet respect, looking around not with judgment but with thoughtfulness. When she learned he had recently lost his job, that he worked 2 part-time gigs to keep the bills paid, and that most of his hopes revolved around giving his daughter a better future, something in her expression shifted. It wasn't pity, it was empathy, the kind born from someone who had once struggled too, someone who knew what survival looked like in raw form. She told him that she believed good people deserved good things, and that her team was expanding, needing stable, responsible supervisors. She offered him a full-time position in one of her company's new facilities, steady pay, benefits, and a path to something more secure. She told him he had the kind of presence, calm under pressure, and real integrity that she valued in leadership. Ryan's throat tightened with emotion he tried hard to hide. He had never asked for help. Never depended on anyone. But in that moment, hearing someone speak of him with faith he had forgotten to have in himself, he felt a flicker of hope that his tired heart hadn't felt in years. Over the next few days, paperwork moved quickly. Selena's team guided him through everything, and soon, he found himself stepping into the first real stability he had known since his wife passed away. With steady income came relief, the kind that softened worry lines on his forehead and quieted the stress that used to keep him awake at night. Arya noticed before anyone else. She commented that he smiled more, laughed more, and even cooked pancakes on weekends again. Selena visited occasionally, always checking in with warmth. She never acted superior, instead, she behaved like someone genuinely invested in the well-being of the people around her. As days turned into weeks, a connection grew between their families, not romantic, not forced, but grounded in gratitude, respect, and understanding. What surprised Ryan most was how naturally Selena bonded with Arya. She would bring her small thoughtful gifts, a sketchbook, a science kit, a novel, and she always made sure Ryan approved first. She listened to Arya's stories as though each one mattered. For a child who missed a mother's gentleness, those moments meant something indescribably precious.